If you want to support the channel, you can use code Tablemon to get 5% off at Potent Store for your online codes, 10% off for your sealed product at Flipside Gaming, and 20% off for your superfoods at Amaranthi. Or if you're looking to buy singles or sleeves, you can fill up your cart and close the tab, then click on the affiliate link in the description and check out. That way you can support the channel over at TCG Player, Card Market, and Dragon Shield. This video is sponsored by the Pokemon TCG deck building website PokemonCard.io. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video here at Tablemon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Since the last post-rotation video was quite well received, I figured we would continue with the coverage of the post-rotation decks from Japan. Yeah, since they already have the Scarlet and Violet set and they are already playing in what will be our post-rotation format come EUIC in April. So far, even though Lost Box has lost Scoop Up Net, and that meant a lot of people thought that comfey was going to be less good. Well, it turns out that comfey is of course very good, and we have the brand new Beach Court, yeah, which reduces the retreat cost of Pokemon by 1. Yeah, of each player's basic Pokemon is colorless less. Therefore, comfey has free retreat. Yeah, so at minimum, you'll be able to use comfey, retreat into another comfey, right? That's for starters. And then afterwards, you have escape ropes, you have switch cards, and you have switches in order to maximize your switching around potential for the comfeys. And of course, you have the Colress, and of course, you have Lost Vacuum, which allows you to get a bunch of cards in the Lost Zone extra, discarding your 4 Seal Stones or your Stadium, your Beach Court, and that allows you to get to 4 to attack with Cramorant, but most importantly get to 7 very quickly, so you can activate Mirage Gate and start wrecking with Dragonite V or Radiant Greninja. Now I'm very surprised that Raikou is not included in this list. Along with Choice Belts, I feel like both of those cards could potentially be good. Maybe even Sky Seal Stone, even though it does compete with Forest Seal Stone for the V-Star ability, of course. But yeah, overall, this Lost Box deck is fairly standard to what we usually see now. There's the big missing component of Scoop Up Net. However, we also have the new addition of Nest Ball to replace the loss of Quick Ball. Now, I do believe because there's Nest Ball, sorry about that, there's Nest Ball and there is Battle VIP Pass, there's no way to search for a Pokemon such as Luminion to place it on the bench and allow you to use its ability. And that's why there is no Luminion. I can't think of any other reason. If you wanted to play Luminion, you'd have to play Ultra Wall. But of course, the discard of the Ultra Wall can be very problematic for this deck because you're already sending cards to the Lost Zone and therefore you'd be losing even more resources. Now, as I mentioned, you want to lead attacking with Radiant Greninja, Cramorant, or Dragonite V depending on the situation, then follow that up with Sableye Pressure. No more Zigzagoon unfortunately, but we do have the big Kyogre Aqua Storm attack. Aqua Storm, so that you can do some big damage to the bench. Of course, there will always be the threat of Manaphy, but nothing that Sableye cannot take charge of in the beginning, and then you just guarantee that Kyogre can get that big damage onto the bench Pokemon to clear out the space. So very cool deck. As I'm sure you're aware, if you follow my tournament results, I've been a very big fan of the Lost Box decks lately, mostly because of the recent success I've had. I also believe they have some of the highest skill ceiling currently in the format because there are so many decisions that need to be made, and therefore if you make them correctly, you'll be rewarded, right? But if you make them incorrectly, you could be easily punished, and sometimes you have to make calculated guesses based off of percentages, based off of potential of certain cards being priced if you haven't checked your deck yet, or if you don't know exactly what you priced. So there's many things and many little pieces that you need to move around with this deck, and that can either go right or wrong. Yeah, but this deck is as strong as it has ever been, it seems, after rotation. Now we will be getting more cards by the time we rotate, so I'm sure this deck will continue to evolve and adapt. But I think this deck will be a mainstay throughout the rest of the format, unless there's like a really big ability lock basic Pokemon printed, because Mirage Gate literally can power up anything. So if the metagame revolves or evolves into something that is weak to fire, then this deck can adapt to counter the main deck with fire type attackers, because it can easily power them up with Mirage Gate. So out of all the cards in the deck, out of everything that you can include, Mirage Gate is the single card that will always make this deck completely viable. And that is very impressive. And that means I am 99% confident that this deck will remain consistent and relevant until the next rotation, whenever that is. And maybe even beyond that, I really don't know. But I do believe that Lost Box decks are here to stay. And who knows, maybe all of the 2023-2024 season, you'll see me playing a Lost Box deck at every single event. We don't know, right? But I feel like the versatility of Mirage Gate is what really drives this deck's power and success, of course, being able to power up, and will allow it to, no matter what the metagame is looking like, adapt to make sure that it has an advantage. So maybe it's on the other decks to try and adapt to counter this, but I mean, you can play the Klefki, right? Which a lot of people saw it and they were like, oh, Lost Box is dead. But a Klefki in the active means, sure, I can't lost zone cards, but you're also not doing much other than a 10 damage pressure attack, which 7 hit KOs comfey. That means I have 7 turns to power up whatever I want and find resources and play escape ropes to get the Klefki out of the active, play Boss's Orders to target something down, and get a crazy flower selecting turn, along with the fact that Klefki doesn't stop Colress. Klefki doesn't stop Lost Vacuum. So there will be cards going into Lost Zone, especially if I have 7 cards where you're just doing 10 damage, and I get to top deck and do other things. Like, things will happen in that period of time, right? So who knows, yeah? Who knows what will happen in the future, but I am a firm believer. The more I think about it, it makes a lot of sense that this deck remains strong. It makes a lot of sense that this deck is one of the best decks in the format as of today, and I'd like to think that I've been a little bit of a part of it, right? Other people have had success with Rayquaza Raikou, but it seems like after San Diego, the deck has really popped off. So very happy with that. And I look forward to playing more Lost Box, even when rotation happens. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions about the deck. Thanks so much for the support on the channel as always. And if you enjoy my videos and you want to support a little bit more, for the very, very small amount of $1.99, you can subscribe to the channel just like you would on Twitch. And if I post a daily video, that's less than 10 cents per video. So if you think what you learn from my videos, from each of them, is worth 10 US cents or less, right? It's like 8 or something, then it would really help out if you considered doing that. Thanks so much, and until next time. Bye-bye.